What's up, Pokey Rockers? This is going to be a pretty cool episode. I think one that a lot of people are going to appreciate, and one that hopefully will help you decide maybe if grading's for you, what grading company you want to go with, and maybe some information you don't know or wish you knew. The research that I've done, it was as if I didn't know what I was looking into. I am a General Joe Schmo, which that's what we are. I'm just the average collector. Maybe I just want to get one card graded. Maybe I want to just get a few cards graded. Please, this is simply good information about what grading company maybe you should think about. And with that, I have the wife with me. I got the wifey. Hi, say hi, wifey.
Hello.
Oh, well, so enthusiastic. This is going to be super boring for her, but need to be part of it anyways because at the end of this, there will be a little secret. So, now, wifey, what do you think about grading overall? What do you think about this whole spiel of grading cards?
I don't know. Like grading is cool, and the fact that, you know, for example, this from PSA that we got, it's a 10, but you also had the factor of if you get a card graded, it could bring its value down, and so you're like, well, I just spent the money to get that grade, and now it's in less value.
I could see that, and you know, a lot of this grading stuff, that's really why I wanted to ask the wife, because this grading scenario to a lot of us might be a mystery. We don't have any idea about it. It looks cool maybe, but maybe it's not the best of best things. And of course, there's finances tied into it. So do I really want to spend X amount of dollars to get my cards graded? And, you know, are they going to go into the collection? Are they going to be resold? Am I going to resell these cards? Etc., etc. There's so many factors into what goes into grading, to why I believe that this is a very important episode. So hopefully you all gain some knowledge from this. Let's go ahead and get into it. So, we have pretty much the biggest four names in the grading card industry. We have PSA, CGC, BGS, and SGC. We're going to be grading these companies themselves. So yeah, we're going to grade the graders. We're going to be going by pricing, what it costs to grade cards. We're going to analyze the slab itself, see about the quality of the slab, turnaround time, and give an overall of what we think about the company. And so the wife hasn't handled any of these slabs except for that PSA just now, but she's going to give the general idea, like what do you think about that slab when we go through each of these companies. And like I said, at the end of this episode, we're going to see something special. Something secret. A secret. I don't know what to even call it, but we'll get there, okay? So we're going to start off with PSA. Why do I want to start off with PSA? Some of you will probably say, well, because PSA is the best one to start off with. It's the oldest one. It's the one everyone uses, and so on and so forth. Yeah, you know, that's a good way to put it. But in actuality, I'm going PSA first because it has to be in a special category all by itself. Why is it in a special category all by itself? Well, because PSA does things a little different than everybody else. Whether you want to say that maybe it's not up with the times, maybe you want to say that it's just sticking to its old roots and it's stooped and steeped in tradition, whatever have you. The reason why I'm giving PSA a special category is for one fact and one fact only. You have to, in order to unlock the bulk submission, so if you want to send 15 plus cards or whatever, in order for you to do that, to get the pricing with PSA for bulk submission, you have to purchase a membership. None of these other grading companies do that. None of these other grading companies have any of their services locked behind a paywall. And so that fact and that fact alone sets PSA aside from everybody else. And unfortunately, that puts it at a high disadvantage when it comes to the other grade companies. And so, therefore, it has to be in its own separate category. So, with PSA, let's talk about it. Alright, I'm going to throw some stuff up, of course, on the screen here as we talk. PSA, let's start off with the pricing, the big thing, the elephant in the room, of course. We all go with the money factor on stuff, and we have to be as price conscious as possible when we are considering of grading our cards. PSA, the minimum, because we can't really talk about membership right now. We have to talk about, if you didn't want to sign up for membership with PSA and do this as cheaply as possible, we're going to have to look at where you start, which is what we did when we went with this Charizard. When we submitted this, I had to go that route. I wasn't going to pay $99 to just submit a card, or maybe a couple more. It just financially does not make sense. So, $25 to start. And the turnaround time at the $25 mark is 65 days or longer. It literally says 65 days or longer on their website. Now, if you want to get your card a little sooner, which this is actually the one we did, I think it's called the Value Plus. Again, I'm going to throw this information on the screen. I try to write down all my notes as best as possible. But at $40 for the card, you will get your card back in 20 business days, give or take. And I don't know about you, but I really don't want my card being all the way out in California for 2+ months. I just don't. I fear for my card's safety. I fear for my card's safety being gone that long. And so I spent the extra $15 to get it back within a month. And it did stay true to that. It came back in a month. So, not bad. So now we have to kind of go into this special thing. So, when you pay $99 for a year worth of membership with PSA, you get to unlock that bulk. And the bulk costs at, I believe it's 19 a card. Yes, it's 19 a card. Again, I'm going to throw this information up. 19 a card, so you're way over any of these other companies if you want to grade more than just one card. If you're a collector, that just it financially sucks. You shouldn't have to pay $99 to unlock something that everybody else has. So that to me just shows PSA's age. I don't know what it is, why PSA thinks that that's okay. Maybe people are blinded and they don't know. Offer that service without membership. I have no idea. This is why I wanted to make this video, because I just feel like PSA's put on too high of a pedestal. We need to bring them down. We need to knock them down a few inches to put them right back with everybody else and have some critical thought process on this stuff. So, talking about the membership, what does that membership actually give you? Not much. Not much. If you look here, the $99 gives you grading specials, of which, again, I did the level of research the general Joe Schmo goes. So if you're like, well, I know that information, good on you. I'm glad you know that information. But a ton of people do not know that information, or know this information that I'm about ready to say. So, you get grading specials. What does that mean? I even scoured Google. What entails a PSA grading special? Barely anything popped up, even if it was remotely information that was true or false, because it's the internet. Who knows? It doesn't come from the official PSA website. They don't say jack about anything, so it's a mystery. So I have no idea. So that doesn't tell me anything to why I should sign up for your $99 a month or a year subscription. Then you get a PSA magazine subscription along with your membership. Whoop-de-freaking do. Like, I care about a PSA magazine. I can find whatever information I want on the internet, dude. Magazines are nothing to me. Alright? And then lastly, you have access to the Lupe Vault or Loop Vault or whatever that is. Again, no information on it. It just says, this is what you get, and that's it. To me, that's garbage information. It's garbage information. There's absolutely no bonuses, and whatever these grading specials are, clearly they don't exist very often, and only happen in a once in a blue moon. So PSA, let's go ahead and grade PSA. Pricing, 0 out of 5 stars. 0 out of 5 stars. It is the most expensive way to pay for a card to get graded. It offers little to no discounts or any idea of what these memberships do for you, and it's a yearly thing, which is easily forgettable. So if you're not grading cards on a consistent basis, which all of us don't, okay? 99% of us Pokemon collectors do not grade on a daily basis or monthly basis or any of that stuff. Maybe we might grade once a year and that's it. So $99 plus whatever else you're charging for a couple times a year, or maybe even just one time a year, not worth it. So 0 out of 5 stars pricing. PSA, get better. Turnaround time, 65 days plus. That's insane. The rest of these companies are much sooner. So, and you can't tell me that, oh, it's because PSA is just getting flooded with cards. No, everyone's getting flooded with cards, especially CGC. And so, if CGC can turn stuff out and they're working with millions of cards, PSA can turn stuff out, do millions of cards, and have better turnover rates. So, with that, they get a 2 out of 5 on turnover. The slab itself, it's not impressive. To me, so we're looking at the slab now. To me, this is just a glorified top loader. It's the thinnest slab out of all these slabs. It's hazy everywhere, which it feels cheap. It just feels extremely cheap. Very archaic looking. The backside label is more interesting than the front. The card is held in there nice. There's no wiggling, shaking, or anything like that. It's just plain Jane, man. Offers no UVB protection. Offers no to little, if any, water protection or humidity protection. Like I said, it's just a glorified top loader to store your card in to look nice or to protect it as best as possible. So on the slab, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5. It's just PSA needs to work better. I'm sorry. Like, so many people hold this thing, PSA, to such a high standard, but I think they're blinded by PSA. They got their blinders on. They don't want to focus on any other company. They don't care. And they're just overpaying for cheap slabs, and it's just not smart. It's not smart financially to go with PSA. So, that's PSA, but I'm going to have the wife actually take a look at it and let me know and let you know what she thinks about this slab.
I mean, the back is more interesting than the front.
This isn't it. It's got a barcode and a QR scan. No, there's a barcode in the front, but yeah, I agree. Just the back is fun.
It does feel thin. It feels like it's just 2 top loaders thick.
Yeah.
If that.
Yeah, I agree.
Literally feels like I could just...
Yeah, you could. Yeah, that's... I mean... And, yeah, they're easily to break. They're easy to crack, so I guess if you really want to get a card out of there, fine. But, like I said, if you ever felt the PSA slab, if you have not felt the PSA slab, they're just so thin. They're very thin. Very, very much a plastic thing. Paper thin plastic. That's what it is. So what's your overall score? Out of 5 stars, wifey, what would you give PSA? Just feeling that's your first slab you've ever felt, but I need to know what you think. Looks, feel, all of it.
I think I would even give it a lower score of like 2, because how much money and trouble did you have to go through to...
So total for that card, like I said, I spent the extra $15, so I spent $40 plus taxes plus shipping. It was like $57 to grade that card. Luckily, we pulled that out of the Celebrations pack, so I didn't have really any money invested in the Charizard as a single. So value-wise, yeah, it's fine. But if you paid $60, $70 for that Charizard, and then you spent another $50-something to grade it, and if you were to try and turn around and sell it,
It wouldn't be worth it.
Wasn't worth it one bit. Yeah, that's $200 there, but your profit margin is minimal. After you pay eBay fees or whatever way you decide to sell that thing, it's just not worth it. It's absolutely not worth it. So PSA, get better. Now, you're probably wondering about these cards right here. So shout out to Big Daddy Collections. That's who I got this slab from, the CGC slab, who we will be talking about next. He sent some extra cards my way. Didn't have to do that, so thank you so much. And of course, I have other than that one because that's our own thing. But these three came from eBay sellers. I'll make sure to link their stores into the description below. They're fantastic people, great shipping, everything came in just fine. And like I said, a little extra bonus from one of them, so want to make sure I gave a physical shout out to Big Daddy Collections. Thank you so much. So, CGC, the other bad boy grader that's out there. The new kid on the block. These guys, also I believe they're out of San Francisco, or not San Francisco, just California in general. I don't know their actual location, anything like that. CGC is just it's been all over the place. If you're all into Pokemon knowledge, as far as gaining knowledge about these grading companies and stuff, I'm sure you have heard CGC at some point in time doing scandalous this, that, and the other thing. People attack CGC so much, but really it's just business, and whether they're just overly transparent about their business or whatever have you, they're just doing their thing. But PSA isn't any better. All right, PSA has gotten into some hot water recently too over some stuff, and you're paying a premium for what you do with PSA. So shame on them. CGC, they're just doing business, and it is what it is. Whether it's questionable or not, guess what? Every company does things. Whether it comes to light or not is what it is. So what about CGC? Well, obviously, everything is unlocked. You don't have to have a membership for bulk submission, so you can send as many cards as you want. They do have a 25 card minimum, so you must send 25 cards. It costs $12 per card, and it comes back in 40 days. So a month and a half compared over 2 months with PSA. So we're already off to a wonderful start with CGC. And even then, you could do economy. There's an economy grading system that lets you do a $15 card, so $3 more, still better than PSA, and they come back in 20 days. So less than a month, better than PSA, $15 card. Wow. And you can even do Express. Let's just go for this for a minute. You could go Express for $50, okay? So only $10 more. $10 more than PSA's 20 business days, and get your card back in 3 days with CGC. So I could have sent Charizard off, got it back within a week, and paid actually less than PSA. And I'm sure I would have probably had a better time, because as we know with grading, with any of these other companies that PSA doesn't do, they offer pristine grades. I could have had I don't know, that could be a pristine Charizard right there. Pristine Charizards go for about $400. But that one can only go for $200 because, well, it's just a Gen Mint 10. So I missed out on the ability, and granted I could send that to CGC, but semantics, right? It is what it is. We did the thing. I don't want to pay more money to keep grading cards. It's not financially smart to do so. So yeah, pricing with CGC, they get a big old, I would say, because I'm trying to base this off the rest of them, I would say putting CGC at least, I'm going to have to do 4.5 to 5 stars. 4.5 to 5 stars for pricing with CGC. Turnaround, 5 stars. The fact I can get my card back in a week is insane. Absolutely insane. It goes out there, expedited shipping, comes back, it's all good. Is this some money? Sure, but if you're trying to be first to market on a lot of this stuff, especially with new sets that drop, and people are trying to sell their cards, these graded slabs, as fast as possible to make that big buck, CGC is where you gotta go. Because that's the least amount of money, and you're gonna get your stuff back soon, and you can then pour it out onto eBay and make some dinero. So again, no membership locks. There is a membership available at $25 a year, so a quarter of the cost of PSA And they actually do tell you about, you do get 10% off all of your grading fees. So instead of $40, or $50, it'd be $45. Yeah, $45. Instead of $12, it'd be like $11 or something like that. I mean, still, at least they say something. At least I know what kind of grading specials I get a hold of. And there's other things too that you get. And of course, I'm going to show all this stuff on the screen if I haven't already shown it already. Of all the things that CGC offers with their memberships, and they go all the way up to like $125 a year, which those are for the people that clearly drop money on the cards, grade cards constantly, so on, so forth. But you know what? $25 a year, not bad. I could forget about that amount of money and have a good time with CGC. So not bad, not bad. So slab. Let's look at the slab. Much thicker. So let's go ahead and just knock this out. Much thicker than PSA. It's also nice and rounded and smooth. The back is nice. Nice, good old CGC holographic stamp of authentication back there. A little bit more minimalistic, but here's the thing. We're not looking at the back of these things, are we? We're looking at the front. And if you look at the front of this, compared to PSA, the black label's beautiful. I mean, and that's just a 7.5, you know, so like getting the actual pristine labels and stuff, which I didn't buy one because those are expensive, but the pristine labels look beautiful. They're absolutely gorgeous. A lot of space, and I think as far as size-wise, yeah, they're the same size. Maybe actually CGC might be just a tad bit smaller because of those rounded corners. But it looks like a crystal ball, like it's nice floating in there. It doesn't have all this haziness around it, which I don't understand the aesthetic of that. I don't know who actually enjoys that fogged look. If you want to stay up there, PSA. So slab-wise, again, I'm trying to compare it to these other ones. I'm going to have to give it at least a 4 out of 5 stars. Just good stuff. Good pricing. Great pricing. Fantastic pricing, if you will. Fantastic turnaround time. And a solid slab that looks good, feels good, although you shouldn't probably be handling slabs too often, but dang, it's a solid slab. This is good stuff. I really don't understand why people want to rip CGC a new one so much. So what if they do some business practices that you might not agree with? So long as they do not screw over the customer base, I have no problem with what they do. Do your thing, CGC. Keep doing your thing. So, wifey, I want you to let us all know what you think about the CGC slab.
It's thicker, heavier. That lip that was on the back of that one is not here. Back is nice. Front is even nicer. I mean, we get to see in a nice big bold what the grading is.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't even point that out.
I mean,
yeah, PSA has...
From far away, you can't see anything
on PSA.
On the PSA. Like, I can see that 7.5 from pretty good distance.
Across the room.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's an attention grabber. This is something that I think shops would appreciate a lot. Because when they put their slabs and stuff inside of a display case and someone's walking by and they see a pristine 10, they see a Gem Mint 10 or something like that from across the room, they're going to be like, oh, piece of candy, wonder what that 10 is over there. Mm-hmm. Versus they see a PSA slab and they have to walk all the way up to the glass and look at it like, oh, that's a Gem Mint 10 right there.
I know, or ask the shopkeeper associate, hey, can I see that slab?
I don't know what grade it is.
No, I can't read that from where I'm standing.
Yeah,
but
so.
this, and it continues. I mean, y'all can see it on the screen. You can't really see that one, but you can see those. You can see the grading. Overall, better.
It is a better quality slab. 100%. I don't care. Again, we're probably going to ruffle some feathers. Some PSA diehards out there, but if you don't have any of these other slabs, you're missing out. You have no idea. what the quality is of these things. If all you do is PSA, you can't say anything about this. Until you get some CGC, BGS, and SGC in your mitts, you have no clue. Alright. So, CGC, that's going to be a hard one to beat. That's going to be a hard one to beat. Next one is BGS. So, Beckett Grading Service. This is a thick boy. This is a brick. But let's talk about the company. Great pricing. They have a minimum of $18 with subgrades. So this is your subgrades. This is one of the few companies that still offer this. So it's $18 if you want these subgrades on here, so that way people know what you failed on essentially with your grade. So the surface was a little edges were a little cornering or centering was a little but the corners were great. Corners were fantastic. And some people, some of these statistic freaks out there, want to know this information. I could care less, but some people want to know it. So $18. If you don't want the subgrades, $16. And they are up there a little bit though with the business rate return, which is 60 plus business days. So they're pretty much on the same level of PSA. However, I believe as far as BGS is concerned, their grading behavior ethics are far superior than any other grading company. They are strict. Getting a 10 with BGS is hard. Very hard. With PSA, since they don't offer the half grades, you can get a 10 pretty easy, and I think that's another reason why people are just so die-hard about PSA, because I don't have to worry about this little half grade. I just get my 10 because it's better than a 9. Screw that. Alright. This is why PSA gets its own freaking category, because it's separate from everybody else. Everyone else is playing a game. This guy is off in a corner doing whatever he wants to do, and it just blah, whatever. You tell I'm a little mad at PSA. Oh man. Anyways. So 60 plus business days return. 10 card minimum on the bulk submission, and then it's you could also go to a $40 payment like most of the other companies. A 10 to 20 day return. So again, pretty much on the same playing field as PSA. No membership locks. Membership does start somewhere. BGS has the most cryptic membership stuff I have ever seen. It doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't have anything telling me anything about anything. It is so cryptic. I can't even talk about it. So therefore, it's not worth it. Don't worry about the BGS subscription. It does nothing. There's nothing on it. Clearly, they don't even care about it because they would show information. If it doesn't look like CGS or CGC, then don't worry about it. Don't worry about signing up with BGS. Now, along with CGC and SGC, of course, they offer the half grades. They also offer pristines, and Beckett offers the black label, which is the most sought after grade that you can get in the whole grading industry. Beats everybody else because a black label means your card is flawless to like it shouldn't even exist. And the price command for a black label BGS is ridiculous. I.e. example, a PSA 10 Moonbryon goes for about $800. A CGC Pristine, I think, is up in the 1,000 plus range. A BGS Black Label Moonbryon is like $4,000. It's ridiculous. So a lot of people like to go and play the gamble of, can I get a BGS Black Label with my card? I don't know. That's a heck of a gamble, but you know what? That's what we do with all this stuff, isn't it? Grading is just a gamble along with everything else, so you just don't know. And BGS just has now, as far as the slab is concerned, the thickest slab. Like I said, this thing is a brick. It dwarfs, absolutely dwarfs PSA. by a mile. My little holder there is one of the flip. Oh! We're on a little bit of a hill too, I guess. I don't know. Not only, and as far as the slabs, so let's go ahead and grade something real quick here. Pricing, 3 out of 5. It's right in the middle. You know, it's not any much better than PSA. It's a little worse than the rest, so a 3 out of 5. Grading wise, it's up there. I would say it's 5. It's a 5 star just because it is the most strict grading. You will truly know what your card is if you send it through BGS. And some people are afraid of that. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of it. And then the slab itself, 5 out of 5. It is the craziest slab that you're ever going to hold. It looks like a whiskey bottle. Just a nice, simple Beckett there. The gold stamp up here is beautiful. And they sleeve your card before they put it in the slab, so it's got a ton of protection. Top that off with a confirmation that none of these other slabs have. It has UVB protection. So if you happen to set this near a windowsill or with excessive natural light and stuff like that, your card is going to be the safest it can possibly be versus these other card companies. Now, Beckett has also exclaimed that they put as much protection in this as possible without yellowing the plastic, because UVB protectant will yellow plastic. So as far as clarity is concerned, you might see a little bit of that, what they're saying there. There's a little bit of that shine. What?
Whatever coating it is.
Correct. You actually see that UVB at work in this corner. I don't know if you can really see it. Try to see that little bit of a gleam there, and it's not as clear as the CGC slab. And it's because they put that protectant in there. So, confirmation. This is the safest slab. So therefore, 5 out of 5 slab, 3 out of 5 pricing. Turnaround is, I'd say 2 out of 5. And yeah. So overall, great stuff. Now, wife, you let us all know what you think about the Beckett slab.
Alright. It's a thick boy. It's a thick boy. Honestly, seeing you hold this, seeing it for the first time, I don't like the fact that it's sleeved.
That is a criticism that a lot of people have, because
it kind of breaks it up right here, and then then again, like with PSA, it's got that cloudiness. I would rather have it just nice and clear.
Yeah. To exclaim on that, that's a lot of people's criticisms with BGS. That if there was any criticism with BGS, is the fact that when you put that sleeve on, as you notice in the light, it refracts the light more, and it kind of takes away from that displayability of the card. Mm-hmm. Yes, my card is super protected, but if I have to have a particular lighting to display properly of that card, and I've also seen where people who get these back, the sleeve is crinkled.
Oh no.
So they and I mean, you can't take it back. You can't undo. I mean, you could undo the slab, but as a business, you're just cranking this stuff out. So if you get a little pinch at the corner there or something, now you have a crinkled and wrinkled sleeve inside of your slab. Mm-hmm. I kind of wish that they didn't do that myself. I'm right there with you.
Yeah, I was like, it'd be like 5 out of 5, 5 stars, all across the board. But the sleeving for me takes it down.
And a lot of people would agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people would agree with you on that. So there you have it. Wifey saying it. Whatever wifey says is true. It's true. All right, now the last one we're going to talk about is SGC, which has the biggest slab as far as just like it fits the palm. It's bigger than all the rest of these slabs.
I think it's too big.
We already have what the wife is telling you what it is about, but we need to tell you about SGC anyway. SGC is interesting. It's very minimalistic, not in the slab, but its website. You basically have two categories to pick between, which confuses me, and I got no answers about it. There is a standard size category for $15 a card, 5 to 10 day return. That's awesome. But they also have a TCG service for $9 a card, 5 to 10 day turnaround. If so, obviously this is TCG, and it states raw cards, reslabbing, so on, or reholdering, all that good stuff. So at $9 a card, 5 to 10 days, this is the best price. This is the best price, and they hang around with the big dogs. They have pristine labels as well, half grades, all the good stuff that you know and love with all the other grading companies, except for PSA. And yeah, okay. So pricing 5 out of 5, just from simply that, and turnaround time 5 out of 5. The grading and stuff with the card, like I said, it's the same with everybody else. Really, what we need to talk about with SGC is the slab. Truly a unique slab. It is called the Tuxedo. It actually comes in a Tuxedo box. I'll put the box up there so you can see what it comes in. Cool stuff. I really do like this whole blacked out thing. If PSA did this, it would look great. It would look at least better anyways than frosted white. And really any other companies I guess would look fine, but I guess the way that they did this, it really looks like a picture frame. Like something that you would hang on a wall or put on a mantle or something like that. Truly a good display thing. Back of this thing is absolutely enormous. Just got the giant SGC logo back there. So out of them all, the most minimalistic out of all of the slabs. Just this massive portrait thing that Grandpa has on his mantle, and you're like, whoa, what's that, Grandpa? So yeah, that is all there is with SGC. Just a simplistic company. You don't hear a whole lot about them, but for your money and turnaround time, definitely a company to consider. These are fine slabs. These are just fine. They're thick. I think they're about the same thickness as CGC. Yeah, they're pretty much just as thick as CGC. All these acronyms, they're good. SGC, CGC, BGS, ABC, 1, 2, 3. They're all gonna confuse me, so I apologize. So they're just as thick. They're cool. I like it. It's not bad. Giovanni's Exile is probably the best card to have in here just because it works. Very businessy. So cool. Now, wifey, you let me know. You let us all know what you think about the SGC slab.
The feel of the slab itself, it's good, it's thick. I do like the slab itself. I just think it's too big. I mean,
it dwarfs the PSA.
As it's big.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, like, it may not seem like it's that much of a difference, but when you deal with trading cards, any amount of centimeters really counts. Centimeters count.
I mean,
you could put a
PSA fits inside of what is this? SGC?
Yeah.
So, but I think I understand why they've had to make it so big. So, as you can see on the PSA, you can see this plastic.
Yep.
Just running across there. It's holding
the
this
label.
in place.
Right.
It's here, and it's across the top, and
have
across
a
the
lot of
side, and on the bottom.
plastic holders.
There's a lot of plastic holder going on inside of this one and the rest
Correct. Yep.
of these. This one does not have that.
Nope.
And that is because this black framing is actually holding everything in place.
That is right. It is.
If they made it any smaller, I bet they wouldn't be able to manufacture this piece of framing that's in here very well.
I think
That's the only reason I can think of why this is so big.
And I think the structural integrity, once you get to
Once you
so
get
small,
once you get like this in between here,
and you
too
have
tiny, you know, it's
paper
gonna
thin.
it's gonna fall apart, and so
Yeah, I agree.
it's nice. It's nice that way. But yeah, I that's the only critique I have is it's a big slab.
It's a big slab. It's a big old slab.
I mean,
It's a big old slab.
yeah, it's literally
It's
all
hard
I've
to
got.
talk about SGC, isn't it? It's hard to talk about SGC.
Maybe one more thing I've got is that they could make their logo a little nicer back here. It doesn't have to be I mean, it's lifted up off of the slab.
Yeah.
But how else would they do it? Because they don't have any kind of grid system in here like the rest of everybody else does.
Yeah, and they're the only ones, I think, if I remind myself, I'm going to have to pull this one up real quick. Okay, so there are two. All the other ones have holographic stickers on them. So that way you can have verification that this is a real slab, but these two do not.
It's just what's the word I'm saying? Looking for embossed.
Embossed, yeah.
Embossed, raised off of the surface. I mean, that could just be
Someone could 3D
scraped off.
print it, yeah.
It could be 3D printed on there.
Beckett's is actually inside the plastic,
Right.
so it's not a sticker or anything. But yeah, no, SGC I think is one of the harder ones to talk about because they're just so minimalistic. Not only with just how you grade with them, but just their slabs in general. There's not a whole lot to talk about. It really isn't. The whole tuxedo black thing is really, that's it.
Yeah, I was like, that's their thing.
That's their thing.
That is their thing. Nobody else has done it. Nobody else is doing it.
All right, so that is the grading companies in a nutshell. That's why I wanted to make this video, because it's really hard to figure out what one you should go with, what kind of money you're spending, the grades involved, who's a little bit more stricter, who's a little softer, all that. There's so much that goes into it, and obviously at the end of the day, it all boils down to your personal preference of what do you want. What would you like to see your cards in? Now, if you remember, ladies and gentlemen, Pokey Rockers, I said at the beginning of this video, although this has been quite a long video, that there was going to be a secret surprise thing. I don't know what to say. But, now that the wife has handled every single slab, has heard about whatever all the companies offer and my own personal grading on them, what company, wifey, would you pick to grade your cards in?
CGC.
CGC! You know what that means? We're grading through CGC from now on.
Oh, okay.
That's what we're doing. So we will be sending our cards. Here's your winner.
I mean,
Hooray,
I would-
hooray! Woo!
I mean, and I'm going to say why. I would honestly choose Beckett,
Okay, let's bring Beckett up here.
but I cannot get over the fact that there's a sleeve.
Can't get over the sleeve.
I
'Cause
can't get over the sleeve.
we got this in the light. I mean, just look at the showcasing of this card. I can showcase this card, and my Halo light that we have here, the Halo light we have, is perfect for this demonstration. I can show
it's
you.
nice and clear.
I can show you everything without hindrance. Flip it over. We can see the back, and not have any issues. If I bring this up, it's not so bad, but there is still waviness on the sides here. So if I want to show you a side, I'm gonna have to kink it over and show you at an extreme angle what's going on. And as far as on the back, kind of the same concept. I'm gonna have to show it at an angle. It's not bad, but it is a little. It's distracting. For those that actually are looking at this, I understand. It's distracting. Versus just having a nice, crystal clear case. Don't have to worry about all that glare off the sleeves. Very good. Well, so there you have it, Pokey Rockers. We are officially CGC graders. Go ahead and hate in the comments below. We want to hear it. Again, I hope we answered some questions. We hope we helped out. We may not have been the most informative, but like I said, I wanted to try and do this as the general Joe Schmo, as we all are. I'm not a huge, I mean, I am an informational person, but if I'm trying to give you all the information you need to make those decisions financially, this need to be made in the way that it was made. If you have questions, please post them in the comments below. I'll be more than happy to make another video, a follow-up video with this, with any questions you have that I can possibly answer, because it is an important part of collecting and grading, investing, all that stuff. It's very important. So, we hope you enjoyed the video. I'm just going to set that down because my holders are not playing nice with me today. You have yourself a rockin' day, Poke Rockers. Yeah!
Goodbye.